better 24/7? The answer is eat well to live well. Here's 10 pro tips to get you there. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to Rick Boyardi World Builder Warrior Academy. Tip number one, eat. Don't diet ever. The reason is your body is designed by universal intelligence. It's designed to survive. The same principles that govern the great universe govern the cells of your body. And what that all means is that if you don't eat, your body's going to be smart. It's going to say, I got to protect this entity, and I've got to save everything this person eats, because maybe they doesn't know why you're not eating. It just knows that you're not, and it's going to try to protect you by hanging on to everything that you take in. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, your metabolic rate's slowed down. What you are eating, it's holding on to, and that's not optimal. So, like a finely tuned automobile, it's got to be running. It's got to be taking in fuel and using that fuel for power for the engine and to all its peripheral systems. So, when you do eat, you also are cutting your cravings, especially your emotional cravings. So if you're eating well, those emotional cravings are going to start to go away. And I can tell you from experience, I remember when I first really started paying attention to the quality of diet and the timing and the quantity, I would notice things like I would walk by the cafeteria where I work during the day, and it wouldn't be like a tractor beam pulling me in. I had zero physical craving to go in there and see what's what. And usually those choices were not optimal for what I was trying to do. Another thing I firmly believe in is eating breakfast. And I've tried different things throughout the year, different ways and timing of eating, and read books and done this and that. And, I've represented health products for 4 years, and I learned a lot. I'm still in a lot of training, and I've been in training for years. And I do feel that when you eat breakfast, you think about it. You've been in this altered state all night. The food is broken down, distributed throughout your body. It's going to be used. It wants to eliminate waste and replace it with new fuel. And I think that's a great time to load up. Now, let me say this first, especially that time of day to eat, because you've got a whole day to use that energy. So if you're going to eat big, in my opinion, the morning is a good time to do it. Now, I know a lot of people say, I don't feel like it. It's not my way. I get it. Those things are habits. And it doesn't mean that a better habit isn't an option. When you feel a certain way, it doesn't mean you have to stay that way. It doesn't mean there's not something better out there. So I eat what I eat a person would eat at dinner for breakfast. I eat my protein, and that could be plant-based or animal-based protein, lean, organic. I'm still feeling out my way between the two. In my heart, I want to go plant-based, but and I found a good place to get them. I'm still figuring out, reading the labels, whether they're doing anything to make the plant-based proteins more palatable by adding things that might not work versus animal-based protein. Again, my heart is in going plant-based. I am working on it, and I know that I'll find a solution. I do want to do what's right for the planet. Anyway, as you can tell, that is something where I'm really, really working at. But the other thing is complex carbs like brown rice and sweet potatoes, things like that. Vegetables, fruit. I drink a lot of water, especially in the morning. I have like 8 to 16 ounces within the first half hour, and that really helps your metabolic response and also elimination of waste. You feel better, you feel more connected. We are water creatures after all. Post-workout meal. I'm big into that because you've just spent a lot of energy. You've created a lot of micro tears in your muscles. You've created free radicals in your body. And to give it the appropriate sustenance basically recharges you. And I always say, like when I teach my classes, I always say at the end of class that you've basically engaged 100 trillion cells to change. Save that change, like literally file, save as, boom. You are now a new version of you. The thing is though, you gotta sustain it. And I know a lot of people don't like to, like if you work out at night and people don't wanna eat after that. What I found is I do protein supplements. I mix it with fruit, with ice, and I grind it all up in the blender. And it's a nice, cool kind of smoothie thing, super healthy. Doesn't load me up before going to sleep. It's pre-digested because it's all powder, so it gets out to the body really fast. And you can pre-make those and stick them in your refrigerator and just have them available. Okay. Second point, you can't exercise your way out of bad nutrition, okay? I know I've been guilty of this myself, and a lot of people do this. They think that you're gonna go out there and run 10 miles a day or do 1,000 ab crunches or do hours and hours of hot yoga. And yeah, you will lose weight, but your body, if your nutrition is absolute dog shit, your body is not going to accept what you're doing. It's not going to make the changes. Your body's smarter than you trying to deceive yourself. Even if you're innocently deceiving yourself, your body's going to do what billions of years of intelligence that's programmed into us is going to do. So, you know, all these horrible things that you can ingest, your body's not getting the essential nutrients and vitamins it needs. So it's like your body's going to say, I got to store this shit as visceral fat, okay, underneath the layers of your abdomen, you know, hence the ET gut. And if you're not old enough for that reference, that's E.T. the extraterrestrial. He had a big gut. So, you know, once you start eating better, in conjunction with your exercise, your body's going to say, okay, I trust this person enough that it's going to feed me while it's asking for all this energy as output. And I'm going to, you know, the hormones are going to say, okay, it's okay, fire up here and burn stuff. Eat well, okay? Number 3, holistic lifestyle. All right, so so many people want to look like all these super amazing people we see in movies and in ads, and they just look, you know, it's unbelievable. But, you know, these people are training like Olympic athletes. They're training for hours and hours and hours, okay? Holistic approach. Everything's connected. Your emotions, your career, your business, it's really pretty much the same thing. your your body, your nutrition, your sleep, um, the way you move, your metabolism, your soul, the way you speak, the way you think. Everything's related. Okay. Um, your bad choices, you don't need them. Okay. It feels like you do because you want to feel better, but it's often it's your subconscious mind is just directing you from bad things you've learned well in your past, and now it's saying, boy, won't this bad choice feel good. I get it. It's and another point I'll make later is you can get out of that, and there's ways to do it. For now, just trust me that um, you can make better choices. You can reprogram your unconscious mind. Okay? Point number 4, eat frequent meals. Um, there's a lot, during a day, a lot goes on. A lot of people in the modern world are sedentary, and it's not because they're lazy, it's because it's the way our world is. We're sitting at our desk a lot, we're at a computer a lot, we're in our cars a lot, and people are on couches watching football and Netflix and things like that. And, so you think that you don't have the demand on your body but you really do. It while you're in these bad physical positions because of the modern world, a lot of your body is shutting down, like your glutes and your hamstrings, and you're starting to um, become unstable where you should be stable, and you're starting to have mobility where you shouldn't have mobility. A lot of things become bass backwards, and I know I'm kind of drifting off here, but eating frequent meals, you need energy consistently throughout the day. Now, I get there's also intermittent fasting, okay? For me, what I'll share with you is I don't eat my last meal of the day very late, and so if I'm anywhere between 5 and 6 p.m., I don't eat from then on. So 6 p.m. all the way around the clock to 6 a.m., something like that. That's 12 hours of cleansing. That to me is a fast. But when I'm awake, I need to eat. And I went through this period where I was training with this guy, and he just was like, eat salads for lunch. Like he was trying to help people, and he was kind of structuring the meal plan for people. And what I found is, while the salads are good and they feel good, it's alive, and it's very healthy. It wasn't enough, and I'm in this part of the day where I'm making decisions, and it's a lot of money's on the line, and I can't afford to F up. I got to be able to think. So I've kind of supplemented with soups because I feel like it's a lot of water. There's a lot of organic and fresh stuff in the soup. I feel like if you're eating well, if you're eating good quality food, it's okay to eat it, because your metabolism is still going to be going. So you just kind of like a fine tune, like a Rolls Royce, fuel in, it burns it efficiently, the thing runs beautiful, it looks good, it moves well. You get the analogy. Number 5, slow, steady progress, 1%. Okay. People, particularly in the West, and maybe, I was in Japan this summer. I think there's a lot of pressure over there to look really good too. Um, People have this thing where they feel like they've got to be something like way the hell out here overnight, and things don't work that way. You don't get any. Yeah, okay. Occasionally somebody can win the lottery, and things change overnight on the surface anyway. But typically the best things don't come like shot out of a rocket. Everybody knows the Michael Jordan story, right? This guy got cut from his freshman basketball team. He wasn't good enough, you know. So what did he do? He put in the 10,000 hours. One shot, one jumping drill, rebounding drill, one dribbling drill at a time. Tom Brady, I mean, I'm from Boston, you know, didn't start his entire college career at Michigan. Was in a battle with this other quarterback, Drew Henson, 6th round draft pick. Not really expected to do anything. I mean, I can remember the first time I saw him in person when he was a rookie, and I thought, who is this guy? Like, good luck. And look what he's done. And that none of that came because he went from 0 to 6 Super Bowls in 5 minutes. I mean, this guy, it's rep after rep, study session after study session, positive mental attitude, mindset, amazing nutrition program, amazing workout program, going beyond the comfort zone, willing to try new kinds of exercise protocols with is Dan Guerrero, I think, is his trainer, TB12. So my point there is, if you take the steps, the universe is going to work with you. It recognizes positive energy and matches it with positive energy. You can't control 10,000 steps down a road. You can't change the past. You can't learn from it. But, in the here and now is where things happen. And I tell my students all the time, when you're at that point of muscular failure, people hear the word failure and they think they failed. I can't hack it. I can't hold a plank for 1 minute and 15 seconds. I tap out at a minute. Okay, well, what happened at that minute point? You had the balls to go to your absolute max. If you hold that even 1 or 2 more seconds, that's where your gain is, right there. And then now you're 1 minute and 2 seconds, okay? Next time, next couple of classes, you get to 1 minute 2, you're breathing, 1 minute 3, okay? So your threshold keeps going up. And then when you get better at one thing, it sets you up for success in other things as well. So, give yourself a friggin' break. It's just be better the next day, okay? Each day be better, and you'll be at a little bit higher level the next day. When you take that moment of savasana or rest and reflection after a good workout, in your mind, file, save as, boom, save it. In my case, it would be Rick version 1.09. And feel good about that. And then the next day when you start, you're at Rick 1.09 or whoever you are. Okay. Number 6, calories in versus calories out. It is true that if your caloric intake is less than your caloric output, you'll lose weight. And if it's 500 calories a day times 7 days, you'll lose a pound. 3,500 calories is about a pound of energy. And the thing about that is it's deceiving, okay? If I consume 2,000 calories a day and my output is 2,500, I could be like, oh yeah, I kicked ass. There's my 500 calories for a day. Do this every day, I lose a pound. Well, what if those 2,000 calories are 2,000 calories of Twinkies, all right? I'm actually, the opposite's going to happen. My body's going to react and say, whoa, what's all this sugar? And it's going to pump all this insulin into my bloodstream. And it's going to save everything I've got because it doesn't know when the next infusion of essential minerals are going to happen. So, you know, take that for what it is. Um, it's more important that you eat well and eat, like I said here, eat well, live well, because your body will respond to that. It'll start sending out messages of, okay, let all the machines run. We've got oil and fuel, and it's coming. It's not going to not be here for another 2 days. You get it. Enough said. Number 7, food prep. I've said this in other videos. About 2 times a week, I prep the protein, the complex carbs, the veggies, the fruits. The fruits are easy. I have these Tyvek bowls with the covers that seal on them. I put all the food in there, and it's easy to take smaller versions of that in smaller bowls and take them with me for the day. So, because of the way our world is, we're so busy, we're running so fast that it's so easy not to food prep and then make bad choices. You're on the highway, there's McDognuts over at the side of the highway, you're hungry, you pull in, you get the fries, you get a shake or something like that. You're just dumping crap into your body. You might feel better for 5 minutes. Of course, you'll want to kill yourself afterwards. You feel like a failure. And again, all the stuff I share, personal experience. Anything I've got to share with you that's optimal, that's good, that's positive, I also learned it the hard way, So sometimes the best teachers are the ones that get their asses kicked by life circumstance and learn the why and the how of things, and they share it. That's what I'm doing. Number 8, tips from the hunger beast. Again, that's kind of what I was just saying. You hear a lot about cheat meals to allow it, and the way I see it is this: is I eat really well. I'm pretty disciplined about it. I eat well. I eat good quality. Occasionally, there'll be a situation where I don't have any food whatsoever, or I'm at a social event. Somebody offers a pizza or this or that. I don't feel very guilty about it if I partake in it. The other thing is I've learned this. This other guy I watch, this Matt Cook guy, 33 Secrets guy. He's got another name for his YouTube channel now too. I can't think of it though. I subscribe to it. But anyway, he talked about, and I agree with this, that you can have something that's out of bounds, but you don't have to have a lot. Sometimes it's just having a few bites is enough to have the taste and the experience without going ape shit and just downing everything in sight. You can make a better choice. An example is I was really hungry. I hadn't eaten before working out, so now it was 7 p.m. and I was driving home. I was really hungry because I hadn't eaten dinner yet, and the food prep thing, just I'm always having to be flexible in my daily world, and sometimes the timing doesn't work, so I didn't have anything with me. So I'm driving down the highway and like there's bad choices as I go down the highway, and I would literally do the 5-second action countdown from Dr. Susan Jeffries because my car wanted to pull in, and I would count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Boom! I drive by, and then as my inner voice said, "Well, you've got watermelon at home," which had this big ass watermelon, tops cut off. It looks like one of those eggs from the Alien movie. I get the spoon. I could just scoop out and eat from it. But by the time I got home, I was like, you know what? Just go to bed because you're going to wake up and have a really good meal. And that's what I did, and I felt really good about it. The hunger beast is psychological. We've been trained our whole lives to consume things, and whether or not your conscious mind, when you're watching an ad, your conscious mind might say "F that," I'm not even gonna look at it, but you're hearing the words. Even if your eyes saw it, in your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, you pick all that up. Nothing gets by. It all goes in, and it all works in there according to the beliefs you have at the time. And those 95% of those beliefs come from way in the past. You were programmed so long ago. And I'm losing my train of thought. So anyway, you constantly have to, these cravings and these feelings, accept them. Accept that they're there. Don't try to drown them out with like 40 pounds of chocolate cake, or 200 candies from the Christmas boxes of candy that you get. Stop, think, do the 5-second action countdown, drink some water, find an alternative. But it is okay to have a cheat meal every now and then. Although the 3X program, when I trained this guy, Tim Sales, he said, don't do it because it's gonna, the sugar's gonna make your body shut down from processing energy as it should for like 3 days. It's pretty scary stuff. At this point right now, I'm gonna say I'm okay with a cheat meal so long as you've got your life, you've got good habits, and that, the next round of food you have is optimal. It's good stuff. It's got essential minerals in it, vitamins, things like that. Okay, tip number 9, supplements. Protein shakes I talked about. I do take supplements. For 4 years, I was in direct sales of supplements and helped a lot of people. I still have clients out there, although I'm more into coaching and life coaching now, fitness, health, mindset coaching. I still will recommend products to people if they ask based on my own experience. But I will say this, like the past 100 years, due to big corporate agriculture, the way that they prep like plants and stuff is like with pesticides and things like that. And even your meats, the animals eat the plants. So it's you, like the animals, like the middleman, their meat ultimately going back to the plants in the earth. But the quality, the essential minerals in foods is diminished in the past 100 years. Just gone way down the tubes. So you got to eat a shitload more to get what you need to get. And if you don't get what you need to get, things like your DNA chain can break down, all sorts of stuff, and you need to repair it. So I choose to supplement my good food choices, and I do feel good about it. I can tell, like sometimes my timing's off and I run out before my next shipment gets here, and like 2 or 3 days can go by and I can feel it. I can particularly feel it in my emotional state because I'm getting beat down too much in these different areas. And I recognize it now as a lack of proper minerals, essential minerals. The final, number 10, is avoid certain categories of food and drink. Alcohol. Now, I'm not going to come off as like this virginal, pure person who doesn't drink or anything like that. I really don't, but occasionally I'll have a beer with the guys or something like that. And, and women and wine, on social media, that's like every 5th post is like some woman posting about like wine or coffee or both. So I get it. just don't make it a frequent habit. Don't let that be part of who you are. I mean, yeah, you can experience things without it being like part of your baseline setting of your life. Be careful. Soda, you know, we all grew up with soda just part of our lifestyle. As kids, we didn't know any better. Our parents would buy it for us. I still remember I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. And I was with my dad. We were somewhere in Texas, and he had taken me fishing. And on the way back, he liked to hit these honky tonk Texas roadhouse places, and he'd bring me in, and he'd put music in the jukebox, go to the bar, and I remember this one time he's like, "You have to try this. This is like the perfect match. It's like made in heaven." He's like, "Here's a thing called a Devil Dog, and here's a drink called Dr. Pepper." And I was like, "All right," tried it, and I to this day I still love the taste of both of them, but I've made choices not to live on those things because they can do you in. They taste great, but again, so soda, like Coca-Cola, I do like it. I like the taste of it, but I'm sure like heroin feels really good too. While you're doing it, it's just there's a high price to pay. Fried foods. Talk to Elvis Presley. Look what happened to him. It just nobody's exempt. Um, Refined sugars, things like white rice, white breads, they polish them and they lose all the nutrients in the process. Syrups like high fructose corn syrup. Now, I like ketchup. I love the taste of it, I hate mustard. I hate mayonnaise even more. I hate relish, but I do like ketchup. So every now and then I'll allow myself to have some ketchup on something. Um, Processed foods, like these packaged things and canned things. Learn how to read labels. Come on, guys. I mean, you can watch a YouTube video on how to read a label, and it is amazing. It's quite the eye opener. You got to remember the way things are advertised. They go in and they bribe, or should I say, lobby, like FDA and people, politicians who get to the FDA who make things a certain way that you can say certain things or not have to say certain things, and it's total BS. It's just part of the big game. But we are the test subjects in the process, and look at where the sugar industry said that natural fats were the cause of all the heart disease, and the sugar industry just kept on sliding by until finally people caught on. Um, Read the label. I think it's like when you read the ingredients, the first one you see is the biggest percentage of what's in that particular food or drink, and that can be an eye opener. Just trust me. Look at the sugar, the amount of grams. I used to drink that. I thought Gatorade was good growing up. Playing football. Gatorade was, I think, University of Miami, where it was invented. It's on the sidelines of the NFL. So if you played football like I did, you drank it. I used to go to yoga. Instead of water, I'd bring Gatorade with me. Well, I eventually learned, look at the sugar, the amount of grams in there. It's like, holy shit. So I learned to do something different. Okay. So those are my 10 tips. I hope they help. Um, this is all part of my channel, Rick Boiardi, World Builder, Warrior Academy. And what I'm doing here is providing you with the tools to personally develop. So you personally develop so that our world transform, global transformation. So again, each and every person, 7 billion people marching forward together, cannot be stopped. All right. Happy holidays. I love you all. Even my enemies. Take care. We'll talk again soon. Peace and love. Take care.